Greetings, gang. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you've been taking good care of yourselves. Shout out to everybody in the chat, my moderators, AV, HP3, Ben. Yes, y'all getting blessed back to back. Okay, so yesterday on the live, I had mentioned that we would talk about spiritual warfare, just kind of touch on it a bit. Um, I did not write any notes down because I don't know. I'm just gonna be shooting from the hip tonight. So let me see something. Okay, so now spiritual warfare has like so much into it. So, we might end up doing a part two. But for the most part, the reason you see the fragmentation card there is because that's what spiritual warfare is made to do to you, have you fragmented. Now, sometimes spiritual warfare can come from like generational curses, like we were talking about last night. Sometimes spiritual warfare can come from other people who spiritually attack you, or it could be from, people who are under some type of attack and they're around you. It could be due to someone sending some type of spell work to you, and it impacts like the whole bloodline, the people in the home. It can come from so many things, and then there's the big one that we talk about a lot, the battle between good and evil that a lot of us struggle with. So I feel like the first one I want to jump into is the generational one, because I feel like a lot of people could be having some of that going on. So the way generational curses can work is like, say like your dad or your mom does something to someone, right? And it curses the bloodline, like depending on the severity. But we're speaking in severe situations, okay, for so we don't get lost in the shuffle. Um, that can be passed down. That's why, even though I'm not Christian or religious, I do like Bible stories and I do like certain things because nothing is new under the sun. And you notice how they say like the sins of the fathers. It's not just the sins of the fathers, it could be the sins of the mothers too, because let's be honest, not all mothers are perfect and not all fathers are perfect. So we can't put a blanket statement over that. And so say somebody does something and it skips past the parent and it goes straight to their child. You know what I'm saying? And then their child grows up. I want you guys to go on YouTube, or if you have a Bible, I want you to listen to the whole Psalms 109. Like, really just listen to it and dissect it. And you can hear the curses that are passed down through generations due to warfare from the parents, the grandparents, the great grandparents. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of the times growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in and in the places that I come from, we saw a lot of spiritual warfare take place throughout the crack epidemic in some of our families, or some of the people that we knew, the neighborhood. You saw that, like, it really rocked like a generation. And a lot of those children became like wayward children or wards of the state or got put in the system, things like that. And then you would think like, well, then those people shouldn't have done drugs. They should have just been strong or whatever. But then you got to go a little bit deeper and look into what trauma were they trying to run from. I'm not condoning addictions or anything like that, but I am very empathic, and I know that sometimes when people don't have a healthy family system to grow up in, they will turn to the streets or they will turn to substances to make them forget some of the like atrocities that happened to them, some traumatic experiences. And so it's very hard to just be like, oh, somebody's only like that because of this, that, and the third. But you don't even know what they're coming from, what they grew up in. Yeah, they put the drugs in our community, most definitely. And then that became a generational curse. A lot of kids were in foster care, out on the streets, had to be adults before they even knew what adulting was. You had a lot of teen moms, a lot of teen fathers. It was just, it's like a lot of stuff that happens. And then it's like only the strong survive. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I always tell y'all to like never give up, because if you, some people don't have like family to fall back on. Some people don't have people to help them process their trauma. And so that's why spirit, that's why God will put healers on the earth to help do do his bidding, like help to hold space for things like that. Because a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people understand how much trauma can affect your psyche, or how much trauma can like affect your basically, like I say, your mental health or your chances in life, the way you grow up, the opportunities that are afforded to you. And some of that can be generational, you know, like if you grew up seeing your parents always struggling, not having enough, you may not have had certain luxuries or certain privileges granted to you. Like maybe you didn't get a car at 16, maybe you didn't get your license, maybe you didn't graduate high school. It's just so much stuff that be happening. And that shit is like spiritual warfare, like going on within bloodlines. And it can really like affect people. That's why I don't like to judge nobody. I don't like to prejudge anybody. I don't like to um come into anybody's life and cause more stress, because you just never know what people are trying to like heal from, bounce back from. And sometimes trauma can stop your clock and you'll be stuck at like 15, 16 emotionally or mentally, because that's when a traumatic experience happened. And it can go back farther to like 7, 8, 9 years old. Like you just, so you just never know. But like spiritual warfare is weird, is real. So we're gonna bounce around whenever spirit puts something on my heart. I'm just gonna say it. So then we're gonna, let's go into when spiritual warfare is directed at you from someone else, and then we're gonna like touch on some of the reasons why. Sometimes people direct spiritual warfare to you because you've done something to them. Let's just get that one out of the way right now. Sometimes people direct spiritual warfare to you because you've done something to them and they want revenge. They want retribution. So they don't want to fight you in the physical, so they try to attack you in the spiritual. Now, sometimes people haven't done anything to you, or you haven't done anything to one, but people will look on you and they'll think like, oh, this person has it made, and it'll be petty things. And I'm gonna break them down because I know a lot of people always attribute being hated on because they got more money or something like that. That's not always the case. Sometimes people have a very twisted mind, and then you wonder what they've experienced for them to even be that low. But people will look on you and you may have pretty eyes, pretty hair, you may have a great body, you may have a good partner in your life, you may have a good job, you may have a lot of material things, or sometimes you don't have any of those things, but it's something inside of you. It could be your optimism, it could be your outlook on life, it could be your tenacity, your resilience, whatever. People will direct spiritual warfare to you for many reasons. um Especially one of the things that I've seen a lot of people utilize spiritual warfare for is rejection. A lot of the times when people have like entitlement issues or abandonment issues, if they feel like you're rejecting them, that, why do you think a lot of hey MS, why do you think a lot of people go straight into binding work when they want to be in a relationship with someone? Why do you think they always want to take away someone's free will to love them by their own accord? And I'm not talking about back in the day when the ancestors had to use that to keep their families together and keep everybody safe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you don't want to be in a relationship with someone, when you don't want to be in a friendship or a connection with someone, And people go straight to spiritual warfare. Oh, well, I'm going to take their free will. I'm going to make them love me. And sometimes people don't even do that. They just try to make it so you can't succeed in life, so that you can't have anything. You know, that's why I say spiritual warfare it's a big thing, because there's so many reasons why people go directly into that. And a lot of the elders that I have come had the pleasure to come across have always said, like, that's why before you start jumping into any magic and all this stuff, first heal, because you may heal yourself and realize, like, damn, I did I don't even want that person anymore. I'm not even attracted to them, or we're not even on the same frequency to be friends, or stuff like that. But sometimes people, they're very impulsive, and they're easily triggered, so you rejecting them or you keeping a distance from them, that can trigger them into wanting to go into spiritual warfare with you. You know what I mean? And then sometimes spiritual warfare in the family could look like you being a child that has a bright future, and those elders that are supposed to be over you see that, and they fuck up your path too. I've counseled a lot of people who have had their own family members putting work on them, coming up against them in the spirit. And one of the things the enemy loves to do is separate families and break down the family structure, and separate mother from daughter, and all the things. And so that's how it attacks the family. That's how it attacks the bloodline. And then it's like, you could be that child that has a bright future, that's very talented and gifted and artistic and stuff, but you're in a family where it's a lack mentality, or it's just not enough to put you in the right programs and put you in the right schools. And so then you grow up and you miss opportunities. It's just so much, and I feel like it's a lot to do with trauma. And a lot of the older people, especially those born in like 1920 and stuff like that, they were under this pressure to always be quiet, to just smile and nod. So when they were facing trauma within the family and within the home, um, they felt like their hands were tied. You know what I mean? And so then, and that's how a lot of stuff happens in the home. That's a part of the generational curse, like incest, abuse, molestation, all of these things that be happening is a part of the spiritual warfare. You know what I mean? And then it just takes somebody to be courageous and be like, okay, enough is enough. You know what I mean? And it's hard to be in that position, because you know that they did the best what they had, but it's still a lot of trauma that took place under that umbrella. So you can't ignore that just because you know they did the best they could. You still have to process that. You still have to be like, I don't want to be like that part of them. You know what I mean? And so a lot of the times, nobody gets the help. Nobody gets the healing. Everybody just kind of like wants to like put you in the system, or put you in a crazy home, or some weird shit like that. And nothing gets healed. It just gets covered up. It just gets bandaged. But you don't get to the starting point. You don't get to the root. And that's why you have a lot of these people who are unstable walking around right now, hurting people. And at some point, you have to get to this level where you can't keep making excuses for it. You can't. Because that's why a lot of people don't have any accountability. And that hurt people shit, it starts off extremely subtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts off like really subtle, like, and if it goes unchecked for too long, then the cycle repeats itself. The cycle continues. One bad, y'all have to grab my ginger ale. But yeah, and then the cycle continues. And it's a really sketchy situation, because you don't want to bombard a person who is a victim of something, but then you also don't want to let them spiral out of control and not get any healing and not get any help. And I feel like a lot of people growing up had that one uncle that wasn't allowed to be alone with somebody, or that one brother that was sketchy, or the cousin, or and they still let those people live in the homes instead of removing them from the home to protect the innocence of everybody else around. But see, some of us grew up in an era where it was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. You don't tell nobody. So then you grow a child up in that they become conditioned to doing what? Repressing things, suppressing things, not speaking up when something's wrong, when something's hurting them. And then that can spiral into other things. And then generational curses just keep building. And you grow up and you look back on your life and you realize like all this traumatic shit that happened to you that could have been alleviated had someone healed the situation, has someone put their foot down, has someone protected. And so a lot of the times generational curses and spiritual warfare be happening in the early stages of our lives, and then we grow up as these adults we are now, and we start to look at everything and we start to process it. And a lot of people are like right now at this moment just really trying to heal from a lot of that shit. So and so it's just a lot that goes into it, and it keeps you fragmented. It keeps you all over the place, you know what I mean? And then some of us pull through. It's not to say we forget what happened or anything like that. But some of us pull through, you know? And you still have the scars, but you're able to, have faith or just move on. And I don't know, I feel like that's why a lot of the times, and I be kind to people, because you can see, like sometimes you ever just look at somebody and see they hurt inner child, and so you try to be like patient and gentle with them, but you got to be careful with that, because sometimes people will bleed on you even if you weren't the one that cut them. So you got to be careful with that too. You have to be careful with that too, because you can only hold so much space for someone, and before you start becoming affected by whatever is impacting them. And I noticed a lot of the people who were like abused as children or went through traumatic experiences as children, they grow up to be some of God's strongest warriors. They grow up to be the ones who are willing to look all the trauma right in the face and be like, no, this ain't right. No. And then those be the ones that really don't go around the family too much. Those be the people that really don't fuck with too many people. And it's like, you ever heard the saying that like your gifts can be triggered from like near death experiences or traumatic experiences? A lot of people become hypersensitive to energy and moods and stuff like that because of what they experienced in their youth. They had to become an empath even before they knew what the fuck that word meant. They had to really monitor the moods of people around them as to not upset anyone or rock the boat or even get abused or hurt or something like that. Then those people grow up and they have this empathic energy signature, even if they don't know it. And a lot of wounded people will be drawn to them. Now, the wounded people thing, it has this duality to it, because some people are wounded and they're attracted to that energy of you because they feel safe with you. They know that you're not trying to hurt them, you're not trying to take nothing from them, so they feel safe with you and they don't cause a ruckus. But then the opposite end of that spectrum is the people who see that in you want to get close to it, and then it becomes dangerous because they're not trying to heal. They start to see your healing nature as a threat. They start to want to possess it for their own. They start to want to isolate it so that they can use it as a battery, or they want to destroy you and it altogether because they don't have it within them and they can't understand how you can be like that. So, you have to be careful because that's part of spiritual warfare too. People seeing the good in you or the safety in you, and if you have to pull back to protect your energy, because sometimes those people don't understand that they're becoming overwhelming or extremely needy, but in a negative sense, and you intuitive because of everything you've experienced as a child, you start to pull back. Some of those people will incite spiritual warfare with you just for pulling back your energy to save yourself. That's why I always tell you guys, like, be careful with always leading with your inner child or leading with that empathy all the time, because it's not always received well, or it's received and then it's coveted, and then it's people try to trap you in that empathy where you can't express any discomfort. You can't back away a moment to breathe. It's like something they've never had, and they're finding it in you, but you're not meant to be someone's battery. So if you ever wonder, like, why the people you're kind to or the people you've extended compassion or grace or anything to turn around to try to destroy you or be an enemy, and you guys haven't even had any war or arguments or fallouts, it be that. Sometimes people don't be jealous of what you have. They be jealous of, like, your spirit, the light on your life. Even if you can't see it, other people can see it. They can look at you, and that's why I don't like when adults look at a child and be like, "Ooh, when they grow up, they gonna be this, or they gonna be fine, or they gonna have a body," or it's like, why are you looking at someone and already trying to assess that of them? You know, it's a very predatory energy within the spiritual communities as well. So you have to be careful, because people will just, you could just be associated to someone and become a part of some spiritual warfare they got going on. So, you just got to be careful. Hey, Just Geo. So, spiritual warfare is, it's a lot. And sometimes, if you come from a family who is not spiritually inclined, they won't even be able to tell you how to fight spiritual warfare. Now, they are going to tell you to pray, but some of them not even going to tell you that. They're going to be like, "Oh, you schizo," or "Oh, you talking to spirits," or "Oh, you can hear stuff." "Oh, you crazy." And then so you out there alone in the world trying to figure it all out, trying to combat all this negativity. You could be in a family where you are trying to break the generational curses and they're trying to keep them going. You could be that family member that wants to have the difficult conversation so y'all can heal. And your family could still be the type just like, "No, let's just sweep it under the rug. No, don't get them on no medication because we don't want nobody to think nobody in our family crazy. No, don't go to therapy because that's not for us." So it's like nothing ever gets healed. Nothing ever gets healed. And sometimes the generational curse could just be a lack of resources and finances. It could be being sedentary in a place where you're not thriving or growing. A lot of the times, people be too set in their ways to where they don't grow and expand and see. And that could come from a scarcity mindset that has been conditioned onto you from a child. Like, oh well, don't get too big for your britches just because you're trying to go to school or something to make something of yourself. Or like nobody will support your positive endeavors. But if you like, yeah, I just want to get blackout drunk, I just want to act a fool. They're gonna be like, yeah, because you deserve it. But then when you be like, yo, I just want to heal, I just want to do the best, I want to try to buy some land, or I want to get a home, or I want to go to school or something, they'll be like, well, I don't know, that's expensive, and I don't know, they'll speak death into those plans, but breathe life into the ones that'll help you self-destruct. And then you will look like the enemy for just trying to better yourself. And then it'll be like, oh, well, collective don't come around no more. Knowing that they know deep inside why you don't, but their pride and their unwillingness to heal and change keeps them from acknowledging the truth of who you are. A lot of you guys have been fighting spiritual warfare on your own because you can't trust anybody, you know? And that's unfortunate. But sometimes it happens that way. And another thing too, thank you. Um, when you grow up in those types of families or friendships or whatever, you grow up and your energy signature, we sometimes don't realize our energy signature until we get on our spiritual journey. And you'll notice that like you keep attracting the same energy in different bodies. That's your spirit telling you that's part of the spiritual warfare you got to fight. That's part of the curse you got to break. If you grew up in an abusive family and then every time you get with somebody they're abusive, or every time you make a friend they turn out to be covertly abusive to you, or strangers that you don't even know become fixated on your energy, become fixated on you, and create all these scenarios and theories in their mind of how you're their enemy, and you ain't even said but two words to them, or because you didn't give them something that they're searching for that they can't get from anybody else. It has to come from within them. You'll start to see that. And then it'll start to correlate to some of the relationships in your life that you had growing up. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like all alchemy. We gotta like alchemize this energy, transmute this energy, get it out of our space. You know what I mean? That's why I always promote spiritual cleansings and spiritual baths and stuff, because that helps. It really helps to move that negative energy out, to help to clear your aura, to help to clear your energy signature so you can rewrite it, recreate yourself. A lot of you guys, um, you grow up to recreate yourself, and it's always that tug from the past. It's always that tug from the people you used to know or the people you grew up with that always try to keep you in that small form, or that form that they know of you that makes them comfortable. And sometimes, you know, just you saying, okay, I'm about to heal, that sends a ripple effect to the universe. Yes, the universe will start to meet you halfway, but the universe will also start to show you who is not in alignment with your healing process. And I know some of you guys can relate to this. When you started healing, let me know in the comments. When you started healing, did you start to just see like random people in your life just start to like pull away from you, start to be mean spirited to you, start to like try to like punish you for trying to get your life together, for trying to heal? Like that shit be wild. And then what they'll do is they'll say stuff like, oh, you know, gang is changed, or gang think they this, they that. Like, nah, you don't even know. Gang was suffering inside from staying in alignment with shit that they soul was rejecting. And then you don't even fall out with these people. They just start like pushing you away. They not even pushing you away. They just start like falling off. You just They don't hit you up. They, you know, when you was wounded and doing toxic things, they was all for it. They was in your corner. Y'all was resonating, key, and then as soon as spirit shook your ass up and you started to heal, it was like, oh shit. They just, yeah, they stop inviting you places, or they stop showing up to things that are important to you. They remove their support from you. They remove their love from you, or they become passive aggressive. And that's the stuff that starts to happen when you get on your healing journey. And that's why a lot of people regress, because they feel like, oh, that shit must be evil. Spirituality must be evil because everybody pulled away from me. But then you don't even think about the peace, because now you don't have to like force yourself to show up places where you know you was gonna be taken out of your peace. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot. And so, you know what I mean? And then, you know, another sad thing, some kids experience spiritual warfare early on. Like little babies, little kids that have abuse directed at them. They experience that, you know, and then they grow up and they try to process all of that. It's a lot of stuff that goes into generational curses and spiritual warfare, man. And sometimes through certain abuses, you get certain spirits attached to you. The spirit of lust, the spirit of envy, the spirit of gluttony, all these things, the spirit of addiction, all these things can happen due to what you experienced. And so that's why the healing is so important. It's not just about manifesting a gang of money and shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it's like, if you're not healed, when you get it, you won't even know what to do with it. So that's why you have to be solution oriented when you are healing. You know, what's the problem? Okay, let's do something to fix it. There's a lot of angry people right now who just want to see the world burn. They don't like that you want to heal. They don't like that you doing your spiritual work to fix things. They'd rather you just dissipate. And you can't do that. They'd rather you stay fragmented. And you can't do that. You know, you have to give yourself a fighting chance. It's so much that goes into this. That's why I really wanted to touch bases with you guys about it, because I know we do the cards a lot, but sometimes I feel like we just need to reason. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of unhealed people out here right now that's moving through envy and lust and gluttony and shit, and they don't even see it. It's just you possess an energy that I don't, or that I'm not recognizing within myself. And so I have to snuff it out of you. Or, you know, as a spiritualist, one of the things I've experienced a lot dealing with spiritual warfare, one of the things that I've experienced with spiritual warfare, just dealing with other people, is if they can't get your energy from you or some empathy from you, they want to beat it out of you, or they want to like confine you. They want you to be like a slave to their demons. They want you to be like a slave to whatever it is that they feel is missing within them, and they try to rob you of your autonomy. And so as a spiritualist, when I first started, I was too open, you know, and that's how I experienced a lot of spiritual warfare. We're gonna do a different video about that. But when you too open and too accessible, that shit starts to poke holes in your aura. And guess what starts to happen? You start to take on a piece of everybody's shit. You start to take on so much of other people's shit till you don't even recognize your own self anymore. Because you have, in essence, made people think that They own your energy. They own your energetic signature. And should you grow and shift, evolve, and change in any kind of way, now they're afraid because they operate in an energy of fear. They will try to punish you. They will try to harm you. They will send demons to you. They will send entities to you. They will try to work you. They will try to destroy your family. They will, so many things, you know? And so that's why you have to protect your spirit. You have to protect your energy. You don't have the luxury at this point of creating new generational curses. At this point in the game, for my collective, we're not hyper fixated on past lovers, past friends, people who turn their backs on us. We're hyper focused on pulling ourselves up out of this, getting better, healing, putting more abundance in our lives. So that's like one of the only ways you can really break these generational curses. And it's not easy. It's not fucking easy. And it's more people out here teaching you how to harm than how to heal. And a big misconception that people make of healers is that they don't know how to protect themselves just because they're not always being a spiritual bully or trying to dominate or take someone's free will. HP3 sent me something yesterday. I reposted it on my Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, it was a video of a young lady, and she was talking about like how people who have been like alone are extremely protected. Like a lot of us who had to like grow up early or really just take care of ourselves or was just ahead of our time, or people who don't have a lot of people around them, you get scapegoated a lot, or you get looked at as like an easy target. And you got a spiritual quadrant, a spiritual court around you who will whoop ass for you, okay? This isn't to say that you won't feel the effects of spiritual warfare. I'd be lying to you, okay? But it's to say that you still here, so they haven't taken you out yet. You got spiritual protectors that'll, I'm telling you, they will whoop ass for you. Especially if you're not bothering nobody. You just doing what you gotta do, and people become fixated on you and try to trap your energy or destroy you or take you out of here. You will be highly protected. And a lot of the times when you come across spiritual bullies, they feel like, oh well, you ain't got a coven, or you ain't got whatever their groups are called these days. You don't have that. So that means we can all gang up on you because you are a threat, right? They'll be thinking that you got a gang of people working them in the spirit, putting magic on them or whatever. Whole time it's just spirit, God, your angels, your ancestors, your beloved ancestors that'll be whooping ass for you. And they'll be sitting up thinking that you doing something to them and you not. But see, people don't believe in intent. That's why I always tell you guys to be careful of people who just want to like get in with you too fast. Like, why are they rushing you? Why are they rushing you for your essence? Why are they rushing you for a connection so fast? What's going on? Because a lot of the times those people be trying to like put you like under some little glass so that they can just like, I don't know, harvest your energy, suck you dry. But we at the 40-minute mark. I'm gonna look in the comments if you want me to touch on anything specific. Yeah, HPT trap you, cage you in, isolate you from people that will love you, or people that will offer you opportunities for growth, or people that can see what you're worth. And oh, thank you, Spirit. That's what Spirit was telling me too. there's this thing called like a handler, right? And in the spiritual world, that's what people like that are. They're like handlers. They want to come into your life and like try to like handle you, like control you, puppeteer you. They be doing that shit. And you can always tell when somebody trying to be your spiritual handler because they'll be doing like, they always want to know what's going on in your life. They always want to know, but they're not telling you what's going on in their life. They want you to sit up and tell them all your plans, whatever, whatever. They want to be wherever you are. And a lot of these handlers, what they do is, and this is a huge sign of somebody that could be a handler. They come into your life and they want to connect to everybody that's connected to you. And I know some of you guys are saying, oh, well, that's innocent. We're not talking about innocent. We're talking about spiritual warfare. So everything I'm saying is under the guise of spiritual warfare. And so the reason they do this, they want to come into your life and they want to connect to everybody you're connected to. The reason they do this is because they want to be able to isolate you, or they want to be able to go to each person to find out what each person's significance in your life is. And they want to be able to run those people off from you so that it'll only be y'all two in the end. They be trying to be a handler in your life. And when you put up resistance, they lose their shit. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that. Because a handler going to tell you like if it was a handler in my life right now, they'd be like, oh, you shouldn't go live tonight and talk about spiritual warfare. You was live last night. Well, you know why? Because handlers don't want to be exposed. Handlers don't want the truth to be exposed. A lot of tarot readers get attacked because they speak uncomfortable truths. And, you know, a lot of spiritualists get attacked because they're trying to teach people how to heal from spiritual warfare. And people don't like that. They don't like that. And you won't know what spiritual warfare feel like until you've been through it. And then once you've gone through it, can't nobody tell you nothing. I'm not saying you can't get advice from nobody, but don't let nobody gaslight you and be like, oh, you're not experiencing no spiritual warfare. Because people will tell you that too. And sometimes it be the motherfucker who sent it to you telling you that. You know? And then, for those of you who are just like really trying to hone your gifts and tap into your gifts, once your gifts start to get stronger too, that's going to be another shedding. A lot of other people going to fall away from you. Not because you did something to them or not because you're crazy, but because they don't want you to read them. They don't want you to, yeah, Archangel Michael. They don't want you to read them. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be like, oh, let me just stay away from them because they got their little gift and I don't want them to know what I really think about them or what I'm planning or what I'm saying behind the scenes. Y'all be wondering why when you started your spiritual journey and you started speaking and you was intuitively speaking on shit and people just start pulling away from you? It's because they don't want you to know what the hell they be doing in regards to you. Especially if you know how to read emotion. Well, emotions is just energy and motion. So when you know how to read that, people start pulling away from you. I noticed on my journey, the stronger my gifts got, the less people wanted to fuck with me. People that had been benefiting from my gifts. When God saw fit to level me up in the spirit, a lot of people fell away from me. We didn't fight. We didn't argue. Now they may have said something petty, but I don't respond to that shit. You're not about to harvest my energy. You know, it has to happen. It has to happen that way. And this is not on no conceited shit. I'm just telling y'all what y'all could be experiencing because I've experienced it. I can't talk to you about something I haven't experienced. You know? So that's why a lot of spiritualists are very private and stay to themselves. You're not about to be seeing them with a lot of traffic in and out their house. Like, you're just not. A lot of people who are on their spiritual journey, you start to just kind of like crave solitude. I mean, every now and then you might want to pop out and have a good time and stuff, but for the most part, your sacred space, you don't even really be want nobody in your sacred space no more. It feels too crowded, like, you know. So sometimes you just go through spiritual warfare based on how other people, what other people are going through. That should be from family curses, if you done did something to somebody, even if you didn't. You know what I'm saying? That's why we always say stay protected. Because you just never fucking know. And a lot of the times I experienced spiritual warfare was from people I helped. I helped. Genuinely helped. But you just never know. And a lot of people, gang, they are under spiritual psychosis. They're overwhelmed with readings to the point where they're drowning out their own intuition. They're drowning out their own inner voice. They can't hear their spirit guides because they're listening to other people's spirit guides. And then they become super paranoid and they'll start blaming people who not even doing nothing to them. And then it's a lot of people who just jump straight into tarot doing readings and they haven't even healed their own stuff. They're not even processing their own stuff. So you got to be careful of that too. It's just, you just gotta, man, you gotta really protect yourself. And right now it's a mind fuck going on, and spiritual warfare is really taking place online right now. I'm telling you, on all these apps, everybody beefing. People beefing on TikTok, people beefing on Twitter, people beefing on Instagram, and I'm talking in Facebook, but I'm talking about within spiritual shit. I'm not talking about people who mad about other stuff. I'm talking about all spiritual shit. And that's why it's so much shit being thrown back and forth. Everybody throwing at each other. Everybody trying to harm each other. Like, I don't know. You get to this level in spirit, because we're not our age, we are our spirit, that you realize that some shit ain't worth it. And some people don't, spiritually, they don't grow up. They don't grow up spiritually. That's why you be seeing people be old as fuck still being evil. Some people don't grow up. But, you know, you got a lot of that going on. So you got to be careful who you sharing your energy with. You got to be careful who you share your spirit with, your dreams with, your visions with, your essence, everything. Everything is so spiritual right now. And then even if you're not a spiritualist and you just like tarot and shit like that, and somebody knows that, and they're mad at you, but they're too much of a coward to address the situation, to heal it or move on and let go, cut ties or whatever, they'll be like, oh, they like spiritual shit. Let me go and find a spiritual person to harm them. Like, spiritual warfare is crazy right now. It's become such a trend. And I got so much flack a few years ago saying that certain things should be gatekept. Certain things need to. That's why the spiritual community is in shambles now. because a lot of shit wasn't gate kept, and a lot of people throw these emotional, spiritual temper tantrums, and they're very impulsive. And if they don't get what they want, or you not giving them attention, or they feel like you bigger than them, or they whatever it is, they'll attack you in the spirit. And if you on my page and you've been on my page for this long, you know that that's what spirit has brought me here to talk to you guys about and to help heal. We all gotta move through this shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people be having shit on them and they don't want to face it. They don't want to cleanse it. They don't want to remove it. And then they wonder why these roadblocks are in their life. And you be around those motherfuckers too long, those roadblocks will become part of your life too. Or you'll be doing the healing work and progressing in ways that spirit has made for you, and they'll be sitting there evil eyeing you and envying you instead of being like, what are you doing to heal? Help me do it too. Instead of doing that, they'll try to destroy everything you've built. You know, a lot of people got a lot of healing to do, and it's like a lot of people aren't paying attention to it. It's just a trend to them. You got to be spiritually aware. You know, I be feeling like too, like, you know, all those people on Skid Row, I be feeling like, what happened in their life? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Because not everybody was just a drug addict or something crazy like that. A lot of people, you don't even know, had some serious work done to them and they couldn't fight themselves up out of it. And they lost everything. You know what I mean? That's why I be saying, like, we do have to choose a side. You know what I mean? It's like, do no harm, but take no shit. You have every right to protect yourself, but you don't got a right to just attack somebody because you jealous of them. Oh, HB3, you do? Yeah, everybody got a story. Yeah. But, yeah, AV, or your feelings hurt. You know? You see a lot of that. A lot of that. But a lot of the times, most of those people don't even try to rectify the situation through, like, communication or nothing. You know, a lot of people, I don't know. That's why the elders always be like, divine on it first. Read on it first. Consult your guides on it first. But a lot of practitioners that I see that come up on my timeline and stuff like that, they're not into hurting people. They're not into that. But they strong as fuck and they powerful as fuck. So don't get it twisted. They will get you if you comfort them. But they not out here like, oh, they broke up with you? Let's put some work on him. Oh, they not your friend no more? Let's put some work on him. Oh, they outgrew the family? Let's bind them. There's a lot of that goes on. So that's why you got to be wise. And you got to know what spiritual warfare is. You can't act like it's not happening. Yes, it feels good to always be positive, to think positive. That feels great. But there are other forces at play. There's other things that are happening. And we just have to be wise about it. It's happening right now in politics. That's why I don't deal with it. I laugh at it. I pay attention to certain things because I'm intuitively led to that. But it's all a game. Everything's a game right now. So you just gotta stay protected and stay prayed up, as they say. But yeah, that was my little spiel on spiritual warfare. Did I cover everything? Let me see. Mm. Hmm. But yeah, so I was looking at my old notes of a video I was gonna do for you guys, and it was only five little bullet points. Um, but it was signs of demonic possession, and the five signs of that is lifeless look in the eyes, fits of rage. They carry a strange odor. They love evil conversations, fascinated with death and harming others or animals. They hate God or spirituality. It's a lot of people that are moving like that right now. They don't even know that they have something attached to them. Um, what did you say, AV? Oh, cord cutting. Yeah, cord cutting is important. The reason cord cutting is important is like, say for example, you break up with somebody, but they won't leave you alone, and they just been like stalking you, harassing you. You can do a cord cutting ritual to get them out of your life for good. Um, then say you have a family member that just wants to traumatize you, keep drama going on in your life. You could do a cord cutting ceremony for that. Or even if it's a frenemy and they won't stay out of your life, they won't stay out of your business, you could do a cord cutting ceremony for that as well. Or for your enemies, you have a right to do that, like to remove somebody from your energy, because a lot of the times people will sew these little cords into you, right? And it's many ways they can do it. Um, Magic, of course, puppets, of course, um, stalking you, evil eyeing you, uh, intimacy, or a subtle way or a really covert way that someone can do it if it's not romantic is um, they can play on your emotions, so they can cord you by that. Like, you'll find yourself, like, even when somebody's wrong, or even when somebody ain't for you, but they act like so obsessed with your energy, they act like they're so for you, but your intuition, your gut is telling you like, yo, this person ain't right. I can't put my finger on it, but it's like something in your spirit just be rejecting them, but they come across as like all like lovey-dovey, or they come across as like rooting for you, but it'll be something in your subconscious mind that be letting you know, like, yeah, they acting like that, but I don't. Your higher self will be like, I don't trust it, or like your inner child will tell you, like, I don't trust them, you know. So sometimes you gotta cord cut like frenemies from you too, because you could have good intentions for someone, but that don't mean they have good intentions for you. Someone can trust you with their deepest secrets and still not be good to you. Hey, Tiff. Some people can trust you, but you can't trust them. So cord cuttings are important in that aspect too, because if somebody won't just get out of your life, you might have to do a cord cutting. You have to do a cord cutting, spiritual cleanse, and put some spiritual work on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially if you've already been intimate with this person, there's a cord that's already been created. So sometimes those be the hardest ones to get out of your fucking life. The ones you've had intimacy with, you share DNA with, they will stay latched onto you. And it's so funny because this card here, where was it? Hold up. Oh, here it is. Parasite. And I pulled this oracle deck out specifically for this session tonight because this is the deck that deals with the shadow. This is the deck that deals with spiritual warfare and stuff like that. And so back to what we're talking about, the cord cutting. Sometimes people will latch on to you and they'll be like a spiritual parasite in your life. And I'm telling you, it's very strong when it's sexual, when I say intimate, but it's also like very strong where there's some type of emotional cord. Even if you don't share that emotion with someone else anymore, they amplify that emotion with some type of rage or obsession, and they will be courted to you by hate. Sometimes people are courted to you by the strong hate that they have for you. Look at your Mars sign, okay? Because Mars is that war energy, and see if you know it strikes anything for you. But sometimes people will latch on to you, um, and even if you don't talk to them, call them, see them, they have not let go, and they are a parasite, and they are draining you. They are riding your spirit, and in that case, you do need to do a cord cutting ritual. And that's not, I don't want you to confuse a cord cutting ritual with a return to sender. Those are two totally different works. A cord cutting is to sever that energetic tie with anybody that's causing you trauma and pain and hardship. A return to sender is to simply take whatever evil energy that was sent to you and send it back to where it came from. Because if you got something in the mail, if you got a bill in the mail with somebody else's name on it, you ain't about to open it and keep it. No, you gonna put it back in the mailbox where the return to sender stuff is, and you gonna send it right back. So that's what a return to sender is, you know. But you could, if you just was in something like of a bind, I don't think it'd be wrong to perform both rituals. Cut it and then return it, but those are two different things. But they still, I guess they could be used in conjunction. Shit, anything's possible. But yeah, sometimes you do. Thanks, AV, for bringing that up. Yeah, you might wanna, AV, you might wanna do a cord cutting if you think you need that. Because sometimes people can't move on, honey. They can't move on, and it's crazy because they become fixated. That's another crazy thing. It's like you be trying to work somebody so bad till you become obsessed. And now you can't live a life because your every breath is wasted on trying to work somebody. So now even their spirit is being drained. You know what I mean? And then if it's not their spirit being drained, it's their pockets. If they not doing it themselves, they going to pay somebody to do it for them. That's obsession. That's addiction. You that addicted to harming someone that you gonna give up your hard-earned money for it? Or your time, your energy, your essence, your resources? What you say, HP3? What if it still doesn't work, Ori? Because they still be showing up in the energy even afterwards. Then you might have to do something stronger, You might have to. I'm not gonna sit up on here and say too much, because the enemy always watching. You just might have to do something stronger, or you just might have to keep doing it because they don't stop. They don't stop doing what they doing. So why should you stop protecting yourself? They never stop. They never stop. Okay. So you never stop. We always have to have some type of protection put in place in our homes and shit like that, because the enemy doesn't stop. They carry the spirit of narcissism. They carry that spirit. So, when you are not being good supply to a narcissist, what do they try to do? They try to destroy you. They try to isolate you from friends and family. They try to affect your money. They try to make it so you can't take care of yourself. Or even if y'all got kids together, they'll try to make it so that you can't take care of the kids they have with you. They never stop. They never stop stalking you. It don't matter how many times you block a motherfucker. They make a new account. They make a new page. They go above and beyond. They never stop. That's that spirit. They're under that spirit. You know what I'm saying? So we don't believe in not always protecting and refreshing your protection and switching things up here and there. Something ain't work, that don't mean it's not good. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Sometimes you got to work with certain alignments to get shit done, and it's not always fast, but you got to do stuff. You got to keep going. You got to go again. Oh, that shit didn't look good enough for me. Okay, well, then we got to do it again. Bitch. I'm telling you. Because the enemy never ceases. They don't. So you can't either. And it sucks. But that's the topic tonight. Spiritual warfare. Tiff laughing. You laughing, Tiff, because you know I'm right. You know I'm telling the truth. And there's a lot of parasitic spirits out here right now. And they just looking for a host. All parasites is looking for is for a host. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might want to do a parasite cleanse. Like, go to your vitamin shop or whatever and find one that's good for you. Or ask your doctor or something if you got a doctor or something. Especially if you eat like a lot of junk food or a lot of sugar or a lot of meat and stuff like that. Somebody might want to do that so you can feel lighter. But that's why you got to be careful what you receive from others, gifts, compliments, whatever. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. All right, anybody want to ask me anything else? Yeah, Tiff, they will. They will. Especially, and I don't think you heard the top of the video, but we were talking about how, but yeah, Tiff, you saw that video that I had posted on Twitter today. When people think you alone and you don't got no help, they'll try to destroy you. They'll feel like you like an easy target. When people feel like you alone and you ain't got no backup because you ain't running with a clique or some shit, they'll try to destroy you. I think you don't got no ally in the spiritual realm. Because people be doing readings on your ass. Like, they'll do a reading on you to see where, like, who walks with you, who covers your head and stuff like that. People be doing readings on people like that. And then they be doing, that's why we be telling y'all stop posting y'all fucking birth charts, y'all natal charts on the internet for people. Oh, what's in your second house? Oh, so I know how to attack you. What's in your 10th house? Oh, I know how to attack you. What's in your 7th house? Oh, I know how to attack you. What's in your 12th house? Oh, I know how to attack you. Me too, HP3. AV. I've had to get on some of my celebrity clients about posting their fucking natal charts on the internet for everybody to have and see. You'd be surprised. I'm telling you, people be doing that. Yeah, Ben, me either. I only post memes. That's all I post. I post memes and I post when my products are back in stock. But other than that, I ain't up here sharing my personal life on the internet for thousands of people to see. People is crazy out here. You already know that person stalked my family member and hurt them, and I don't have them here no more. So, you know what I'm saying? You got to be careful. People is not well, and they be finding weird reasons in their mind to justify what they're doing to people. Bringing spiritual warfare to people's house, sending the spirit of chaos to people's house, to people's families, to people's relationships, their jobs, and all kind of shit. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? And that's not even trying to tell y'all to live a life of fear. That's not what we talking about. We talking about being ready so you ain't got to get ready. Because people are crazy. And no matter how much you block them, they will not leave you alone. How many people is on my block list that keep creating fake pages and shit? People be obsessed, bro. I'm telling you, you could be living your life. Years later, 6 years later, you ain't seen them, talk to them, nothing. For some reason, they got a gang of screenshots or whatever they could get off your page. They obsessed. People is crazy. That's why you can't be too welcoming. You know? So let's see. If we wasn't even doing no tarot, we was just chopping it up. Look what comes out with Parasite. Anger and chains. And what did I tell you earlier? Sometimes people tie themselves to you just by the hate or the anger they have to you. For you, excuse me. They be chained to you through anger. That's why if you wonder why this motherfucker done said all these bad things about me, whatever, but they still won't leave me alone. They are fueled by the anger that chains them to you, that binds them to you. Right. They damn sure ain't. They damn sure ain't God, Tiff. That's what they not. But they have a God complex. But it's a lot of people who are chained to you just through their anger for you, and that's the parasite in your life. Oh, thanks, Nick. And so you just gotta heal, man. You gotta heal. We all have to heal, but we gotta be warriors. We can't keep letting people attach to us and try to suck us dry. We can't allow people to be binded to us through their anger for us. That's a them problem. When something make me mad, I just stay away from it. I'm not about to bind myself to something I don't like. It's so hard the first couple of days, even though I know the truth. Is that normal? Yes, that's normal, Nick. That's part of the healing process. You know, it's gonna be hard, but you gotta be consistent. If you stay consistent and diligent, then it'll get a little bit easier. And then before you know it, you won't even want that energy around you anymore. Yeah. You gonna pull through. You gotta be strong though, Nick. You gotta be strong, bro. You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. Give yourself some time. Yeah, sometimes Tiff, when you got an ex that's obsessed with you, the person they with becomes obsessed with you because he might be pillow talking about you a lot. You know what I'm saying? He might be pillow talking about you. Oh, you guys got a child, Nick? That's why y'all got a cord. Y'all got a tie. That's why. Oh, that's gonna take some time, baby. You might want to book a reading with me, honey. But yeah, sometimes Tiff, when somebody that you ain't with no more is obsessed with you, they new person gonna be obsessed with you. And the reason why is people who do that, they get into a new relationship by talking about you, showing them pictures of you. That's the setup right there. That's the setup for the triangulation that they about to pull. And before you know it, they done created a flying monkey out of their new partner. Now they new partner helping them stalk you. Now whether they consciously know it or they don't, they have become part of the problem. And I've seen that a lot. People move on, or a motherfucker be cheating on you, doing stupid shit. You let the new person have them. You like, fuck it. I'm not about to fight for this. You let them have them. And they ain't even happy with that. Like, damn, I done already let you have the motherfucker. Why are you still bothering me? Type shit. And it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense, so I can't give you no logical explanation. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And then you know what be crazy about people like that? They'll incite spiritual warfare with you too, just because the person they with can't get over you. So they'll be like, oh, he can't get over her. Let me come up against this person and in the spirit so that I could take them out. That way they'll only think about me. So you can already see how their obsession has created a spiritual warfare for you, and you ain't even in the picture. That be some bullshit. I saw a comment on somebody's page on fucking TikTok, and they was asking a practitioner. He was, she was like, well, my baby daddy, my boyfriend won't stop seeing the baby, keeps going around his kid, but I feel like he's only going around the kid to see the baby mama. And then the question she was like, so can I do like some spiritual work on him so that he don't go around anymore, so that the baby mama won't be there? And the practitioner was like, I'm not gonna help you do that. Don't you know that could miss the baby mama and hit the child? So it's like, you got to be careful out here, man. HP3, you said, can I talk about glamour magic? Yeah. Glamour magic. So glamour magic, it's two sides to that. There's the positive side to glamour magic. Now, the positive side to glamour magic is making yourself extremely attractive to the things you're attracted to. Now, HP3, your ruling planet is Venus, so that wouldn't be something that would be bad for you to dabble in, of course, with harm to none. But you could, glamour magic is just a way to like sweeten you up, make you extremely attractive to the things that you want, you know? Um, Now the negative side to glamour magic is somebody being jealous of something you, like we talked about a little bit earlier, like if you have like a beautiful feature, your nice body, hair, eyes, skin, nails, feet, whatever, um, lips, whatever, and somebody is jealous of that, those will be the things that they will attack. If you got like nice skin or something like that, they'll do glamour magic to like make you appear ugly and old and worn out and fuck up your skin, fuck up your body, stuff like that. hmm But it all depends on what you utilize magic for. And like and glamour magic can also be like sweetening yourself. So you would sweeten yourself up to attract things like love, money, abundance, you know, um, all the good things. So yeah, there's a lot that you can do. You're welcome. And glamour magic can also be used as a way to like be a mirage. You know what I'm saying? Like to cast an illusion. It all depends on like what you're utilizing it for, how you're doing it. You know what I mean? There's so much out there. Um, is that it, guys? We could go like let's see. We could go like 15 more 15 more minutes. You know what, T? Yes, it could be something that covert narcissists use. Yes, it most definitely is. And I'm gonna tell you how they use it. I'm glad you brought that up. The way they can use it is by appearing in the public eye. And when I say public eye, this doesn't have to be someone that's famous or a star or superstar or anything like that. Public eye could just be the public eye in your life or their life. By appearing to be a humanitarian, a savior, an angel, very pure, angelic, innocent, but behind closed doors they have a terrible mask, and they're trying to like harm others, disturb others, do crazy things. They're mean spirited, but they have a charm that they can use um outwardly. And yes, if they are into magic, they can do that. And even if they not and they know how to be extremely charming, that's definitely a way they can use that. Hold on a second. You're welcome. You're welcome, T. Okay. Yeah, gang. This has been pretty cool. We should start doing more things like this. Some of them are the most beautiful people physically, yeah, and they're extremely ugly spiritually. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You could pick up on that too. Like if someone just seems, like I said, so lovey dovey and pure hearted and stuff, but it's something in your mind, like, I don't know. Sometimes that could be that. Like, because glamour magic don't work on everybody. The art of illusion doesn't work on everybody. You know what I mean? So sometimes you may, when you're tapped in, you're able to see through that. Even just on like an interpersonal level, you know? Yup. That's the best thing about this. There's always something new to learn. Yeah, Tiff, it's always something new to learn. That's why you should just be like the forever student, you know? You should just be like the forever student. Because you know something too, like even if you have certain tools, there's always like, if you're still willing to learn, there's always like a new way to use those tools you've already had. But if people aren't willing to learn, they won't even know that. Well, okay, gang. If you guys don't have any more questions, we can end the live. Well, okay, gang. Thanks to everybody who tapped in tonight, participated, asked questions. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, gang. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other if you can. Everything you need from me will be in the description box below. How to book a personal reading with me, or how to book a consultation with me. Um, right now on the website, I got a special going for 5 questions, so you might want to check that out. Okay, gang. Love you guys. Sending you love, peace, and balance.